Those words of Lord Rimuru penetrated into the souls of all the magical creatures on the battlefield. Immediately after, they heard an order. The monsters were full of joy, following the urge to free their magic. They are no longer fearless. The inner impulse that drives them all to the battlefield. In the midst of the gunfire, Gobta also heard the order. Finally. Still, we don't seem to have reached our goal, is that okay? He muttered to himself there. Someone responds, and it's his adjutant Gobchi. That's not so bad, actually. Although the original plan was for us to continue to pester our opponent to play the trump card, we would be the first to go first. If they didn't scare each other a little, the powerful ones wouldn't have come forward, would they? Is that so? That's it. Gobta and Gobchi were still talking about the numerous shells that were pounding the battlefield as the blast wave raged. They were able to hear each other, and those who saw this scene were impressed. As far as this old godlike attitude goes, no one feels anything wrong with it. If it's our side, the powerful ones will be the first to jump out. So, isn't the leader of the Gobta army one of the 4 heavenly kings? Wait. Although it is said that I am the 4 heavenly kings, I am the weakest one on the inside. Please give me a break. While saying some yes and no there, not only Gobta and Gobchi, but even the members of the Wolf Rider soldier unit, were even more emotionally high than just now. This is because they have been waiting to see when Gobta will give the order. In Gobta's opinion, he really wants to complain. But a command is a command and cannot be disobeyed. Compared to the Imperial army, Benimaru was even more terrifying. No, Benimaru-san is normally very nice, but he doesn't show any mercy in the military. Plus, this time it was Lord Rimuru's safety at stake. How can I have a way to counter that? Gobta began to think back to the moment he heard the battle plan. It was tiring to go and convince the players and finally lift the big name of Rimuru, and everyone stopped complaining. Finally all the power in their bodies can be liberated. We are now free to attack. The Green Legion side has been handed over to Hakyuru, no problem with this part, then this team will be handed over to Gobchi. Gobta changed his expression and informed all the team members through the communication network. His tone was as usual, but with an irrepressible verve. Got it. So what's the Green Legion army chief's plan? When Gobchi asked helplessly, a troubled smile also appeared on Gobta's face, followed by a response. I don't have time to play there now either. It didn't matter what the 4 heavenly kings were, after all, it was an order from Lord Rimuru. Lord Rimuru is watching, so don't be too bad. That's why, I'm going to be serious from now on. Gobchi and the rest of the team knew he meant it when they saw Gobta's eyes. It's rare to see their supervisor so serious. The one sitting behind the Green Legion, it was known without saying it, was Testarossa. That's the way it is, Miss Testarossa. I'd like to ask you to split up with us next, okay? Only to see Testarossa smile and nod. Even staying in the midst of the bursts of flames and blasts, her movements were as graceful as ever, and her military uniform as clean as ever. Presumably, coal and sand dust wouldn't have been able to get Testarossa dirty either. Yes, of course. I feel the same way you do. She then ceased to act as an ombudsman, and instead acted as a minister under Lord Rimuru. Everyone should do their best. Testarossa finished and got off of Ranga. So take care of yourselves. Leaving those words, and Testarossa walks off at a leisurely pace. Rimuru had ordered Testarossa to stay with Gobta as inspector, now that her mission was over. The dangerous demon began to strike. This one is really my type. Even Gobta was wrongly stunned, but he didn't say anything. He's grown up, at least, and wouldn't do such a stupid thing. And so, after seeing Testarossa leave, Gobta was like saying it's our turn to play. Then let's get started. Yeah. He gave the order to all the players, and the response of the players satisfied him. What was once a tiny goblin has now grown into a warrior with a name. Now it is time for him to repay his kindness. Gobchi, you do the rest. After shouting this, Gobta gave a coded signal to Ranga. It's our turn, Mr. Ranga. The demon wolf in one. Some people have responded to this statement with the same Ranga who has so far repeatedly endured. I've been waiting a long time, Gobta. Let our leader, Lord Rimuru, see the power we have. Gobta sensed with Ranga's consciousness on both of them, liberating the magic within. The next moment, a black mist surrounded Gobta. Come on, let's make a scene. No need to show mercy. It's been a long time since I've shown any real skill. The black haze disappeared without a trace, looking as if it had been sucked in by the Green Legion. Immediately after, the goblin warrior who had merged with the black wolf showed up. 2 dangerous horns grew on his head, turning him into a black wolf with a humanoid stance. This is what Gobta and Ranga looked like after they were assimilated, and indeed possessed enough strength to be called 4 heavenly kings. As soon as they saw that posture, the members of the Wolf Rider soldiers underneath Gobchi rushed out in unison. Don't mess with him. The head of the Gobta army is serious. The hobgoblins shouted desperately, seeing how dangerous they were now to the Green Legion. The evidence is. Even though the magic tank was firing shells, it was still knocked down by the monster wolf's fist. Not only that, even if the magic tank attacked from the front, the hardened black fur could still leave the demon wolf unharmed. Those mass bombs were more than 6 times the speed of sound, and contained powerful destructive energy, but Gobta now had the extra armor that Ranga had turned into, and they couldn't hurt him at all. This was due to the defensive effect provided by Ranga's multiple barriers, but the Imperials didn't know about it, and it was like a nightmare to them. So, what's that? Am I dreaming? No. That's the monster. There are monsters under the Demon Lord. Those subordinate soldiers began to panic. And on top of that, the members of the magic tank force, who are so intertwined that they can't move a muscle, are even more scared. As Gobta and Ranga let out a loud roar, black lightning came down over the magic tank force. Nearly 1,000 magic tanks were turned into fortresses, which happened to be the subject of the black lightning. The black lightning would interfere with the defensive enclosure cast on the magic tank, emitting a dazzling glow. Although the magic tank can withstand it for a while, the electrical resistance cannot be said to be perfect. Not only that, but the threat of black lightning is more than just current. Essentially more terrifying than nature's thunderbolts. It's hot. This is significant damage to the defensive structure of the vehicle. Have everyone retreat. Get away from the magic tank now. While there are ways to prevent the electrocution effects of a lightning strike, there seems to be no way to withstand that heat. Immediately afterwards, even if the other party appeared broken, things didn't end here. Black lightning, as if a self-conscious snake, began to nibble at the lifeless magic tanks. It then causes significant wear and tear on the precision mechanical parts. The magic tanks erupted and burst into flames before they were evened. The thunder rumbled, and the magic tank units were no longer able to move smoothly. He looked to the magic tank barrier that towered over the front. The barrier, which had been blocking their way, was hit by Ranga's thunder until black smoke rose. I've had enough of being bait. It's time for us to go for it. That's right. I'm sure Lord Rimuru is looking forward to seeing us do well too. Gobta and Ranga nodded happily at each other. Then let's get started. Without a moment's hesitation, Gobta burrowed into the barrier formed by the magic tank. Even in the face of the strong enemy waiting ahead, he didn't have the slightest fear. Make the best of Testarossa on the battlefield. Let you see the results of my special training with Mr. Ranga. Let's see how far you can go with this. Blizzard Wolf Dance. A black blast of wind ran across the battlefield. At the same time, the destruction from the supersonic shockwave hit the Imperial magic tank force. This shockwave also has the magic effect of breaking the storm attached to it, eventually growing into a tornado. The carefully calculated actions are effective in wiping out enemy forces and evolving into a tornado of destruction. Fearfully, Gobta's special skill for wiping out armies is the Blizzard Wolf Dance. The corner of the battlefield collapses in on this. As the Gobta began to drive them to the ground, changes also appeared overhead. That was the third corps, led by Gabil. Following Benimer's orders, the Gabil group was responsible for covering Gobta and the others. Even though this task was starting to get difficult, they didn't go into a panic and immediately executed their next battle plan. That was pretending to lose like the Green Legion. Gabil and the others' magic didn't work, and the fireball attacks of the flying dragon troops were blocked. Now that they have lost the advantage of attacking one-sidedly from the air, Gabil can be said to be at the disadvantage. Our job is to get the attention of these blimps, and not think about what comes after. If one fights with all one's might, it's not impossible to fight down. Using Gabil and everyone's flying dragon congregation's killer weapon, it might be possible to break through the airship's defenses. But once that was done, there was no way for them to continue with the operational plan. So Gabil thought it was time to be quiet for the moment. Although the elite people inside were all selected from the Blue Corps, they had not evolved into the dragon race like Gabil and the others had. Endurance against magic is very low, and if they are attacked by mass magic, the light will be shot down. So Gabil wanted the flying dragon troops to retreat. Miss Ultima, I have a favor to ask of you. What is it? We'll continue to pretend to lose, and then we'll do our best to act. Acting. Exactly. Even if we continue to flee, the enemy won't let his guard down. Therefore, we, the flying dragons, will deliberately bear the magic of the enemy. Gabil informed the other side of these. Oh, that's interesting what you said. So what's the real purpose? That's what I thought, and now this situation is just a thing to get resistance to. Even if we get hit head-on, we probably won't die. There's a lot of restorative medicine here, and I'm going to do an endurance experiment to make it look like we lost. The above is what Gabil said. Ultima laughed after hearing that, and the players began to express their displeasure. Wait, General, are you serious? Lord Gabil can be an idiot sometimes. I really want to say, is that necessary now? Watching the players clamor, Gabil pretended not to hear when they were all there. Well, yes. Seems like fun. Permission to execute. I'm grateful. Then, hopefully, you can retreat from the scene. Gabil asked Ultima, who was the inspector, to lead the flying dragon forces in retreat. All that was left was Gabil and the others to attack the airship force. If I die, I'll hate you. I wish you hadn't thought of this experiment. I'm sure you'll be scolded for doing this later. The crew looked off into the distance. Having said that, they had known Gabil for a long time. Despite the lip smacking, they looked happy and dry. In this way, they decided to implement magic endurance training for the Flying Dragon congregation. Time comes to now. Gabil heard the voice from Rimuru. Listen up, everybody. The training is all over. And I'm going to go into dragon mode next. Gabil happily continued. Fortunately, the rookies are retreating with Miss Ultima. It's just us, even if it's a little messy. Seeing Gabil like this, the players started joking with him. Since it's going to be a mess, I think it's better to use my real skills in combat than the endurance training I just did. That's right. That's right. It's not like Lord Gabil's messing around didn't just start now. Hearing this, Gabil shouted red-faced. Shut up, all of you. Don't say anything, get moving. Follow me to the best of your ability. Seeing Gabil try to hide his shyness in this way, bitter smiles came to the faces of the players. There's nothing I can do about him. Stop joking around and follow orders. All right. You can't disobey a great general. Yes. Lord Gabil, please give the order again. Hearing those words, Gabil nodded with satisfaction. Then stared at the Imperial air combat flying corps that was confronting them, and pulled up the volume to ask. I ask you, who is the overlord of the skies? It's us, the flying dragons. The aura on Gabil changed, and the minions responded in earnest. Exactly. Those who dare to defile our skies must be cleaned up. That's what Lord Rimuru meant. The holy decree under Lord Rimuru. Everyone, give it your all. With all your might, you don't need to think much about what happens afterwards. Yes. Be careful not to let your sense of self be consumed, okay? All of you, dragon warriors. Gabil's order made the flying dragon congregation's blood boil. The dragon warriorization is the last trump card they have hidden. They had no reason to hesitate. Dragon mode. Together, the flying dragons unleashed the power they deserved. The muscles began to swell, and the purple scales that covered the surface of the body turned black. The thickness is increased, and the softness and hardness are several times greater. The body size also doubled, absorbing the magical elements around them and constructing a new body. The dragon warriors that was the strongest force in Tempest, and their true fighting prowess blossomed in this instant. The Mecha Legion, one of the 3 legions that made the Empire proud. Their killer air combat flying corps is now a poor lamb for the slaughter. The blimps' means of attack could no longer hurt them, and now the blimps were out of gas. As if to prove the point, Gabil shouted. I'm going in. Take it, and watch me do it. Such a Gabil transformed the dragon warriorization into his own power, and spawned powerful warriors. That power even went right to the former demon lord's carrion and free. Whirlpool water strike. The blow that Gabil struck broke up one of the blimps and sank it. Even the defensive frontier from 100 members of the defense services was defenseless and was crushed in this way. A small party of 5 men took on a ship that took a few minutes to sink one by one. As things turned out, the air combat air corps would all die sooner or later. This made Gabil shout in triumph. Ga. Come on, everybody, take it up. If someone can't even bring down a ship, you'll see what happens later. Hearing these words, the members of the Flying Dragon congregation, who were moving relatively slowly, turned green in the face. There were only 100 blimps. Today Gabil continues to attack, and the number of remaining ships is gradually decreasing. This has turned into a competition. That will not do, Lord Gabil. Lord Gabil is easily swayed by the mood of the moment. It seems to be hitting the right way now, maybe not leaving prey for us. It is possible that the Grand Admiral did so. How well everyone teamed up to fight down the airship was going to be defined. It all depended on the mood of Gabil. Knowing how things might turn out, the players rushed to join the attack one after another. The position of the hunter and the prey reversed, and the situation in the sky was decided.